Today I'm gonna build a giant Minecraft world from thousands of Lego pieces, adding every important character, structure, biome, and dimension from the game. So anyway, let's go. This is Steve, and today he's gonna set out on an adventure in his brand new survival world. So it's time to load him into the map and begin his game. Nice, it's now day 1, which means he needs to prepare to survive the first night. But before we can do anything, the very first thing that Steve needs are tools. And because we're surrounded by trees, let's punch them to collect wood so we can build a crafting table and make our first few tools. Like this pickaxe, sword, shovel, he's even got this hoe. But because they're wooden tools, they're the crappiest, weakest ones possible, like something off Temu. And now that Steve has tools, he can use them to hunt and collect food, like this raw chicken, and he can even collect dirt from the ground so he can build his very first survival base. So I made one with this small window, a wooden door, and inside I put this bed. Wow, this is probably the ugliest house I've ever seen, but it's gonna have to work for now because just as we finish this base, we've completely ran out of daylight, which means now it's time that all the monsters begin spawning. So now that it's too dangerous to go outside, let's send Steve to bed and get him some rest so he can be ready to play the next day. Okay, Steve's ready to continue exploring his new Minecraft world, but before we explore outwards, we're going to explore downwards into the ground. So beneath his base, I built a narrow tunnel with a ladder that leads into a cave so he can go mining. So I built this giant lush cave full of basically every type of ore imaginable, including coal, which is perfect for cooking meat so we don't eat it rotten, and diamonds, which we can use to craft even stronger tools, and a full coat of armor to protect us from mobs. Down here, you'll even find this amethyst geode and an abandoned mineshaft full of gold. Okay, that's a new part of the map unlocked, so now we can continue mining and collecting diamonds. Ain't no way, bro definitely used creative mode. And now that we've unlocked new materials, we can take the ugly base we built on day 1 and upgrade it to be way better. So I made this completely new base that's way bigger and has 2 separate levels. So for level 1, I turned it into a crafting room with chests to store all Steve's building materials, and this furnace to cook food, smelt ore, and make new items like glass and bricks. And for level 2, I built a blacksmith shop where Steve can store all his tools, weapons, and armor, and this anvil to repair them. And while he works, I also built this music player. I'll be stacking up those bricks like it's ABC. My next plan is to build this house its own farm. That way we can grow our own food. So first, I built this garden where Steve can grow wheat, which is perfect for making bread, sugarcane, which can produce paper, potatoes, carrots, melons, and pumpkins. And on the other side of the house, I built a fence where we can keep different animals, like cows, which make a great source of milk, sheep, which produce wool, pigs, and chickens, which make great eggs for crafting cake and pie. Okay, our base is finished, and Steve is ready to continue exploring his Minecraft world. So I gave him a map and a compass, and he's ready to go. The first stop on our journey is a small village. So I built one with tiny houses that the villagers can live inside of. What's in this one? Oh shoot, my bad bruh. Let's put that back real quick. But what makes these villagers special is we can actually try trading with them. So let's see what they give us. Okay, he doesn't want to trade, but maybe this will change his mind. I knew it. Money talks. Okay, that's a new part of the map unlocked, but we still have a long journey ahead. So on the way, I built this goat and this donkey, which we can tame and use to ride and store all the loot we're about to collect on our way. The next destination on our journey is the desert. So I built a dry, hot, and sandy landscape with cactuses, this camel, and this desert pyramid, which opens up with even more loot inside, which we can add to our collection. Now, opposite to the hot desert is the freezing cold Arctic. So that's what I built next. I made this snowy landscape with giant ice spikes poking out of the ground. I also added polar bears, this tiny igloo with a bed inside, and this wandering trader. So let's see if he has anything good to trade. Okay, you asked for it. Good boy. The next place we're gonna visit is the jungle. So I built this lush forest with a giant stone temple, which Steve can explore. Inside are booby traps, like these darts which shoot from the wall, and there's a secret door with treasure behind it that only unlocks when you select the right combination using these levers. Nice. Now we built a desert, the Arctic, and a jungle. So I also built this swamp where you can find frogs and this witch living in a hut. And along the way, I even built Mushroom Island, which is one of the rarest biomes in the game. And it's a place where no mobs can spawn. Instead, it spawns these giant mushrooms and these cows, which have mushrooms growing off of them. I also built this bamboo forest where you'll find bamboo trees, which make great building materials. And here you'll also find pandas eating them. I also built this canyon made from many layers of rocks in different colors, and this field full of flowers, these pink cherry blossom trees, and bees, which produce honey that we can eat. I then built another forest, but this time you'll find these large spruce trees, wild berries which make a nutritious snack for our journey, and this wolf which Steve can tame to become his pet, and a personal attack dog to protect him from mobs. I also built a pillager outpost, which is this tall tower guarded by pillagers who like to attack and loot villages. Here you'll find special loot like crossbows, which are great for fighting mobs, so I put the tower next to the village, and now they can all go to war with each other. But the biggest structure in all of Minecraft is the woodland mansion, so that's what I plan to build next, and this is going to require a lot of Lego and a lot of time. Look how big this thing is compared to the rest of the Minecraft world. So I built this giant mansion with 2 separate floors, and upon entering, you'll find a maze of hallways which lead to several different rooms, including this small crappy prison and this fighting arena where Steve can fight this chicken jockey. Maybe the next Jake Paul fight can be held here. Inside, you'll also find guards which protect the mansion, and rare loot, like these totems of undying which bring you back to life when you die. Okay, so Steve has explored underground and now above ground, but somewhere he hasn't explored yet is underwater. So that's what we're about to do next. Okay, I used these blue base plates to build this ocean, so we're ready to begin building. So the first thing I built is an underwater temple with these giant sea creatures protecting it, like this one, which actually shoots projectiles. To get into the temple, there's a hidden sponge block which you need to collect and place above the doorway, which will allow it to open. And inside, you'll find a secret collection of gold blocks. I also built an abandoned pirate ship which has sunk into the bottom of the ocean and is now rotting, with a treasure chest full of diamonds on board. And I even built a coral reef with a variety of sea animals like this dolphin and this pufferfish. Okay, so we've explored the entire overworld, but a completely different world we haven't explored is the Nether. So using lava, we can craft obsidian to build a portal to get there. So now that we're ready to go, let's send Steve on his way. Okay, that took us to the wrong place, so let's try that again. There you go, that worked. Here you'll find pools of lava, fire, and new mobs like these pigs that trade gold for random items, and this giant flying ghast which shoots flaming balls out of its mouth. I even built a nether fortress which Steve can explore to discover new loot, like netherite, which can craft even stronger tools and armor than diamonds. You'll also find enchanted items with special abilities, like enchanted boots with feather falling, which allow a player to fall without any damage, or this enchanted sword with knockback, which will send enemies back when you hit them. Surrounding the fortress are wither skeletons and blazes, which drop a special ingredient that allows us to craft potions, like a potion of invisibility, a potion of strength, and a potion of swiftness, which lets you run really fast. Let's see if we can beat him in a race. Go. Okay, so we've explored the overworld and now the Nether, but one final world we haven't explored is the End. Here we can fight the dragon and beat the game. So to get there, I built a portal surrounded by lava and spots to place the Eyes of Ender so we can activate it and send Steve on his way. Okay, he's made it to the end world. So I built this floating island surrounded by a void of nothingness, and on this island he'll be fighting the ender dragon. So I built these tall obsidian pillars with these crystals on top that explode when you touch them. Here you'll also find endermen, and finally I built the ender dragon, which can shoot these projectiles out of its chest. So now it's time for Steve to fight. Let's freaking go. Steve has officially beaten Minecraft. So to reward ourselves, I built an end city where Steve will find only the most rare, precious loot, like this elytra, which literally allows him to fly. Holy crap, that took forever, but this Lego Minecraft world is finally complete. This thing basically takes up my whole wall. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Purple stars in my bank account, run up the digits, counting up the Lego money like Lord business. Always with my minifigs, I'm with the crew, master spins, jitsu, call me Sensei Wu.